Yo, we back with the election day recap, victory lap,
Had to put my Mets
politics
hat
is
back on.
politics as usual with RC episode 2. The boy Donald Trump did it again.
Mets hat on. Shout out to Queens. Mets hat back on.
Queens, what up? How you feeling about Don T back in office?
I admit, I was surprised that he won the way he did. He won a popular vote. That should be telling you something. When you go online and social media is by no means the main avenue to be consuming your information and your news, but it does give you somewhat of a popular summary of what's going on, you know? And to see that he won a popular vote, either there's a lot of people on social media lying, there's a lot of people that's silenced. Maybe the algorithm is set up so that if you may be a bit more liberal, a bit more like mainstream centered, you don't even see what the right or the conservatives is talking about. You know, that could very well be an option because it's nothing that would lead you to believe that he was going to win the popular vote. We thought it was going to be an electoral college game, but nah. He won hands down all around the board. And that should really tell you something, man. I was having a conversation with my dad, and, you know, he is a strong Democrat. And as I'm making my points about Trump and why, you know, I feel the way I feel about, you know, supporting him over Harris, and I'm giving a historical context to it, it just devolved into, oh, well, I'm more educated than you. I wish my dad is going for his doctorate right now. But, like, that's not all it's about. Like, I'm educated and informed enough to be able to use my common sense and be able to research and go through the credible sources and do the proper due diligence. And the Democrats are, like, trying to tell the American people that, oh, no, don't do that or don't trust that, you know? Like, nah, think for yourself. And it's crazy that we're at a time in America where the Republicans is the people that's promoting think for yourself, you know?
Yeah.
So, vote for who's in your heart, man. Vote. It's not about a party. It's about a candidate. Yeah. Yes, there's bigger ramifications. You know, it seems like it's going to be a red Congress, which, you know, who knows how that may go. They're scared that they're going to repeal a lot of, you know, social progress that's been made. But there was a red Congress before in 2004. And last I checked, we've come a long way since 2004, 20 years. And there was still affirmative action and all that stuff on the books, you know. So now they repealing it. They scared of a nationwide abortion ban, which is never going to happen. The Supreme Court has been saying it's states' rights, and it's never going to do that. And if they do a nationwide abortion ban, think about why they would do that. Why do you think they would have a nationwide abortion ban? Yes, there's religious ramifications to it, definitely so. But this country was founded on separation of church and state, right? The Supreme Court, through strict interpretationalism, they're going to adhere to that separation from church and state. So yes, even though Trump's evangelical base, who is very anti-abortion, might be who helped get him elected, who helped got him elected, they're not. That wouldn't be the sole purpose behind them passing an abortion ban. There's a video of Bill Clinton flat out saying what has been confirmed for years. Population, it's not growing at the rate that it should. China and India is already well over 1 billion. 1 billion plus. Yeah, China had the one kid policy, but that's after they was realizing, yo, we going to freaking die because we can't feed ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We got to slow down on the population control. And it's still, I mean, we got to chill. We got to slow down and ramp up the population control with the one child rule that they had back in the days. But there's still four Chinese to every American. 5 Chinese to every American. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So come on, bro. We're not producing at the rate that we should. These countries, if they don't overtake us because of us imploding and not being able to manage our country as we should, they'll take over because they freaking overrunning us. It's too many of them. After a while, you can have the biggest gun in the world, but when you freaking outnumbered by niggas who got guns too, kind of don't matter no more, bro.
Yeah,
so that's part of what them letting in all the illegals is about. You know, you gotta have a population. The country has to have a population that's enough to actually sustain for the future, actually sustain the infrastructure and what we needed to sustain to build for the future. You got to have a big enough population for that. So it's layers to this stuff, you know. I guess the Democrats' way of solving that is mass immigration, and the Republicans' way of solving that is cutting back on abortion and different methods of contraception. Which I don't even think abortion is a method of contraception. That shit is, yo, I don't want to have a baby with you. You don't want to have a baby with me. Ain't nobody planned on this pregnancy. We can't take care of this kid. Let's not do this to the kid. That's what the fuck abortion should be about. Or, you know, rape, incest, stuff like that. Like, but that's kind of not what it's about anymore. It's about just, well, I can't say what it's about because we have absolutely no choice in that. No say so in it whatsoever. But yeah, man. This is just the like they said, the what Bernie Sanders said, the working class man is fed up with the Democrats. And this is their revolt. This is their strike back. They tired of it, man. They tired of it. And I really feel like this is the closing of the chat. This is the closing of the Reagan era right here. The Reagan era. Then you had Bush. Then you had Clinton. Then you had Bush again. Then you had Obama. And Donald Trump was totally divergent from politics as usual, sweeping stuff under the rug, acknowledging what we want to acknowledge. Obama was forced to acknowledge certain things because he was a black man. You know what I mean? There's truths that he could just not acknowledge. You know what I mean? Like when he was crying when Trayvon Martin died. His son definitely would look like Trayvon Martin. You can't tell me Sasha and Malia don't look like they could be his sister's son. You know what I mean? That's our people. You know, our complexion. So there's ugly truths that Obama was had to admit because it's just his walk of life. But now Trump now is exposing the truth, man. The Democrats don't even know how to fucking expose the truth. They have no idea how to reveal the truth, and I think that's what Trump is doing. Trump talking about releasing the JFK files. You're gonna see that the CIA and the mafia killed the president. You know what I'm saying? Like Trump is just like, yo, what are we sitting here keeping secrets from the people for? If nobody's gonna be harmed, tell the people the truth, man. Stop having the people think that they're crazy. Stop making conspiracy theories such a bad word when you see Puffy, you see Jeffrey Epstein, you saw WikiLeaks. Is it all a conspiracy? Or have they been the only people telling the truth the whole time? So think for yourself, man.
Yeah. So RC, keep it a buck, man. When you were in that booth and put your vote in for Trump, did you have any concerns, doubts, or worry that he could pull it off?
Nah, I knew he was gonna win. I only started thinking that he wasn't gonna win because of, like I said in the last video, why the hell would they do this at this time and then he go against two female presidents? Like there was a bigger play at hand, but because the American government hides so much truth from the citizens, we always gonna think it's a conspiracy. But it kind of showed it wasn't, man. I ain't had no doubts other than left field thinking. You know, it's pretty obvious, man. It's obvious. It's kind of obvious. So yes.
Do you think this hurt Kamala Harris political career losing?
She's over. Don't nobody want nothing to do with her, man. Nobody want nothing to do with her. She showed herself. She wasn't gracious. She wasn't graceful in losing. Like she wasn't willing to work with people until she realized she had to. Like, yo, that lady is just, she's not a good person, man. Honestly, she's not a good freaking person. I'm not saying Trump is a good person neither, but Trump, he gonna say what he gonna say and let you judge. She conceals it, and that's the worst kind of person. Nah, man, tell me who you are.
Yeah. So yesterday, I get a text followed by a call from my big cuz Shishi, and you know she checked out the first episode. She was rocking with it. She's like, a lot of stuff you were saying was correct, but she also felt like a lot of stuff was misguided, and She want to get it shaking with you, man. She want to debate with you,
That
sit down with you.
that misguided word is a strong word because misguided from what path? Who's doing the guiding? If somebody is your teacher and they teaching you karate, you learning karate. But a boxer could come along and say you was misguided. You need to learn how to bob and weave, though the 1, 2, 3 combination. It's all about what path you choosing to follow. So
Yeah.
you can never be misguided unless you spewing hate. If you're not spewing hate, then I don't believe you could be misguided.
She told me to ask you about Project 2025. Do you know about that? You familiar with it?
I'm familiar with it. Trump has said so many times he got nothing to do with that. He don't know what that is. They showed a picture of him on the plane with billionaires behind the Heritage Foundation. Who is going to sit here and be a fool and not think that those people didn't give money to Trump, that they didn't endorse Trump? Like, who would think that? Who would think that he didn't? However, his own mother said it. He's loyal to himself, bro. He is loyal to himself. They were just showing. I just saw a speech with him talking about how they were making an issue about the women wearing a hijab, in the Islamic countries and stuff. And he said, yo, when you asked them about it, they said they want to wear it. They've been wearing it for 1,000 years. So if he was just so racist, why is he not tone deaf about that situation and respectful to what people want to do? You see, that's something that older white people kind of understand very well. Leave the other races to themselves. Let them do what the fuck they do. That's what they do. Let them do what they do. Do it over there. Go ahead. Do your thing. Oh, you want to help your people? What do your people want? How you telling people what they people want? Oh, the way to fix your community? No. I'm not going to the synagogue telling them the way to have this work better. I'm not going to the mosque telling them the way to have this work better. They fix that amongst their own group. And sometimes that's the best way to solve the problem. Y'all handle your own problems. Come on.
Yo, for the people that's uninformed, break down Project 2025.
Project 2025 is pretty much a list of it's like a list of policy ideas from the Heritage Foundation, which is a very conservative, very damn near extreme right wing like group. You know what I'm saying? So it's got some of the stuff he says has been in there, like get rid of the Department of Education, all type of crazy shit, man. Like really damn near on some Jim Crow stuff, borderline Jim Crow. And in so many words, if you're not a white man, America should not be the same for you anymore. Which is the last cry that they have on having a stake in the society, having a stake in this government. What I just said earlier about population control. This is their last little stake. They realize it. You know what I'm saying? Science will tell you. Genetically, the African is the most powerful and the European is the most susceptible to being, you know what I'm saying? Is the proper term is phenotype. Phenotype is what you see. Genotype is the genes. So the European genotype is weak when compared to the African genotype, which leads to when you see a black and a white person have a child, the child tends to usually more look like the African person, the African phenotype. So they have a weaker genotype, they have weaker genetics, so they know that they're in the danger of being, you know what I'm saying, washed out. And that's one of the old forms. That's one of the last forms of, make America for white Americans again. And that's why I feel like black people need to latch on to that. Like, yeah, bro, I know y'all don't want to be wiped out. All right, we've been through the storm with y'all. Make sure we get what we're supposed to get, and we got y'all back. It's our chance to get it. Because when the Latinos get in power, we ain't getting that shit. 50 years from now, will they even care about slavery? They don't even teach history the same way. I just came from a parent-teacher conference where they teach some things about history, but nowhere near in the same way that we learned before. So, nah. Oh yeah, Probably 2025 is just, a list of real right wing policies and demands for Trump once he gets into office. And he ain't gonna do none of that shit, man. He's not. Other than the immigration stuff, he's not gonna do none of that. He said multiple times he's not doing none of that. So like, come on, what else you want the man to say?
Yeah, last episode I want to clear something up. The stimulus checks that came up, and we said everybody got them. When we said that, we meant like middle class and poor people. We wasn't talking about like upper middle class and rich people. Of course, they wasn't eligible to get the
You was supposed to
stimulus.
poor people got the stimulus check, man.
Yeah.
If you filed the or you was automatically getting the stimulus check if you filed taxes for the year prior. That's what it was. If you had a tax return from the year before, you was automatically getting a stimulus check. You ain't have to apply for nothing. If you didn't, you had to go apply. Of course, the people who make too much money didn't get a stimulus check. The same way the people who make too much money don't get tax returns like that. They pay taxes at the end of the year. You know what I'm saying? So no. If you was aware and you knew what to do, you got a stimulus check. And you qualified, you got a stimulus check. Mad poor people got stimulus checks. That's why poor people talking about Trump putting the money back out. Because he was eating under Trump. And yeah, they can say that the Democrats had all these policies. Yes, they probably did push through all them policies because they are more for the social programs to help the people. But Trump was smart enough to make sure he put his name and face on it all at the end. What people remember is him. And you see, beating them at their own game.
Also, Obama did give the first stimulus check. We know that, but
Trump, Obama gave a stimulus check?
Yeah, it was like 275, 300, like
275.
But Trump gave 1,200. It was way
a more
more
desperate time when Trump sent out the stimulus check. People definitely needed the money. We was just coming off of COVID, so you know it was definitely it needed to be more money sent out when Trump sent it around. But like come on, man. That's what now they want to sit and argue about that because they realize they didn't win. So now they want to divulge into the topics that they said Trump was petty for talking about. Kamala, like they will do whatever it take to win, man.
Kamala and Shannon Sharp, they brought it up when she did his
Uncle Shay Shay, why you sat down with that lady, man? Why you do that, Uncle Shay Shay? Come on, man. You really from the people. You really from the people. That's down south, back home. Like, come on. Why you sat down with her, Uncle Shay Shay? You should have told her. You should have outlined the differences to her and kept it real with her. But you didn't do that, Uncle Shay Shay. I know they paid you something nice though. I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, but they were saying Trump was against the stimulus at first. Him and Sister Harris, they was like Trump.
He like for what? Why are we printing more money? Print more money for what? Give out a stimulus check for what? For what? For what? They're getting freaking unemployment every week. For what? What are we doing it for? I can understand why he would be against it, but the Democrats pushed that and it went through. And at the end of the day, he signed it. If he felt so bad about it, he could have vetoed it. He could have pocket vetoed it. They would have sued him. And all right, you suing Donald Trump. What else is new? Come on, man. Like, all right, at the end of the day, yeah, he held out. He hard-headed. You had to convince him, but he signed it. And who we talking about cutting them checks? Him. We talking about them actually cutting the checks after he got reelected.
Don T.
Donnie.
Yo, so this also I've been seeing online. A lot of females is like, yo, how y'all saying a female can't lead the nation? Something's wrong. Like they pissed off that Donnie Trump back in office.
Check this out. We're not even gonna argue with y'all no more, because them exit polls showed that 52% of white women voted for Donald Trump. Like high 30s, almost 40% of Latino women voted for Donald Trump. Black women, young black women voted for Kamala Harris, but older black women, not as much. Something like 92% of young black women voted for Kamala Harris. Identity politics, bro. That right there shows you who they tricking. Come on, man. You corrupt the woman, you could corrupt the nation.
Also, I've been seeing memes of like, yo, how a convicted felon could be a president, but
because we saw y'all turn him into a felon in our eyes. The man was never a felon until he ran for president. And then we saw y'all turn him into a felon in front of our face. Like he called it, and y'all did it. We see it set up, and we telling y'all we don't care. So that should be removed from all job applications. They shouldn't ask nothing about no criminal, nothing. Once you get hired, they do your background check like it's supposed to be. And that's it, man. For real.
All right. One more last question, because I know you got to run and shit. What do you expect from the Trumpster in the next 4 years? Where do you think the country's headed?
The country gonna be fine, bro. You see, Hamas came talking about they want to negotiate a ceasefire. Putin saying he's ready to negotiate, talking a ceasefire with Trump. Right after he got elected, bro. Like, come on, man. People gonna stop playing because they know Trump mean what he say. They know he gonna cut the money, and they know he's dumb enough to really press the damn button. Want to get nuts? Let's get nuts, like Jack Nicholson said. You want to get nuts? You know what I'm saying? Pause. We fucking bro. Like you, nothing's gonna happen, bro. Everything gonna be cool. You're gonna see a lot of civil unrest. You're gonna see a lot of that Antifa shit. You're gonna see that start to come back around. Mark, I said that because the left is too soft to actually go out there and radicalize. Not radicalize in the sense of tearing shit up, but radicalize in the sense of, you know what I'm saying? Show you how much they not dealing with it and ready to, fight. They fight if they gotta fight for it. They soft, so they ain't gonna put their name on that boldly. So you're gonna see a lot of that Antifa shit popping back up.
Yeah, this is episode 2, the victory lap, election 2024 recap. Politics as usual, RC episode 2. We're gonna try to bring y'all these monthly. So the next one we're gonna set up, RC gonna be the chorus from cousin Shishi, and they're gonna get to it.
We gotta have a positive debate though. Because I'm making my points and you don't agree with them, don't mean that I'm wrong. It don't mean that I don't know what's going on. Like the left and people that support the left try to make you believe that.
Also, I want to add, cousin Shishi said she's not.
She ain't vote for neither one of them.
Yeah, she don't think none of them is worthy or deserving to be in the White House.
Who the candidate is. You know what I mean? She asked me about Project 2025. I feel like she's more concerned about issues that pertain to the left. And I'm not saying I'm more concerned about issues that pertain to the right. I'm more concerned about who's speaking to what, who's answering the questions I want answered. That's what you should be concerned about. Don't worry about a left or right. Be concerned about who's answering the questions you want answered. That's it.
Yo, RC, sign us off, man.
Yo, we out of here, man. Shout out to Donnie, man.
Donnie
he
Trump.
50 Cent at the inauguration.
Yo, one more thing. Sister Harris, this what you did wrong. You didn't watch episode 1 of Politics as Usual with RC. Because if you would have sent me that wire transfer, I would have got you in that White House. Yo, you could have bought my vote.
And to all the black people who mad, look at the states. Look at Georgia, Pennsylvania, North Carolina. How the hell he won Michigan? But Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, because those 3 states guaranteed him the election. Each one of those states has a sizable black population. He was winning. He won by no more than 250,000 in each of those states. 250,000 on the high end. Black people, if you could organize and weaponize your vote, we could get 250,000, 500,000, 1 million people in a state to say we are voting, we pledge our votes to the candidate who most aligns with the issues that we have. Bro.
I ain't gonna lie.
Every election, people.
I went on Apple News. He had like the South and Midwest sewn up. Oh shit!
Because the South really don't agree with all of that. The South don't agree with all of that. The metropolitan areas in the South do, but the rest of that state, nah. And then the metropolitan areas in the South is Atlanta, the biggest metropolitan area in the South, and it's like 4 million people. Bro, it's like 10 million people in the state of Georgia. That's me guessing. You know what I'm saying? There's more people outside the state. Us in New York, it's like 20 million people in New York. It's 20 million people in New York metropolitan area, if you include Connecticut and Jersey. And New York City alone is 9 million. Westchester, 10 million. That's half the state down here. So it's not like that down there, bro. The rest of the state still matters. So just don't be fooled by popular politics, man. Do your homework, man.
All right, we out. Till next time. Peace.